What do locking subframe bolts do? What would be the noticeable change, if any? So on the Mark V era of Volkswagen, Audi, whatever chassis that was,
PQ
35, which went to Mark VI, then MQB came after that. But what VAG did is they made the subframe bolts oversized, essentially slotted, which means that they can kind of lock in the camber at the control arm suspension side, and then you set the vehicle's camber by sliding the subframe left and right. So if you have 0.5 degrees of camber on one side and 0 on the other, you can center the subframe to get 0.25 on each side, for example. The problem with this is when you tighten down the bolts, because there's so much slop around the subframe, at some point the subframe bolts will kind of stretch and loosen, and then you get this kind of characteristic clunking sound, especially at low speeds when you're going up over a driveway or anytime the suspension loads up. So what we do with our locking subframe bolts is we provide a stronger, less stretchy bolt, replacement bolt, and then we supply inserts made from stainless steel that go around the bolt and fill that slot or hole in the subframe. And so we basically remove that adjustability in the subframe. Now what that means is you can't set the camber the same way that the factory would want you to. So in some cases, you would have to change your ball joints to slotted ball joints and add that adjustability back to the outside. But typically, this is not an issue. And because there's no chance of movement, and because the bolts don't stretch or loosen as easily, then it just keeps everything locked down. So they're called locking collars. That's just hyperbole because it kind of locks your subframe in place.
It could be locating collars, could be centering rings, could be...
They're positive
bushings.
Positive location shims, essentially. But yeah, we remove that slotted, sloppy functionality, which frankly is a bad design. It shouldn't be used from the factory.
I mean, you're talking like, it's like probably a 2.5 inch kind of like gap that bolt is just kind of floating in with its shoulder resting on the bottom of the subframe.
Yeah, because the subframe's about 2.5 inches thick.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe a 3/4 inch, 7/8 inch hole.
Yeah,
and it's got a lot of side loading and twisting on it when that chassis and suspension was flexing, like Gerard said, like sharp driveway inclines on track. We noticed it a ton. If you get sticky tires on there, you'll just get hard transitions. You'll get the thing clicking and moving around, and you've set your camber, but now your camber's over here, and then your camber's over here, and it's not a great performance solution.
So there's quite a few options in the market. One of the original products they came out were
bronze or brass. It was a very soft metal.
Yeah, the locking spacers were I believe they were brass, but that material is very soft, and so what we started to see, was issues. Not to badmouth this company, but we started to see issues around the softness of that material. Other companies started doing them out of aluminum, billet aluminum, which is also a soft material for that application. So ours are all stainless steel, which is a very hard material. Obviously, 304 stainless steel also resists corrosion or rust in any way. But we believe that's the right material for the job. And our kits are very popular. We've sold thousands and thousands of them. Maybe tens of thousands, likely.
Yeah, we had
all the different applications.
A number of galling issues on the brass ones.
So the threads in the bolt would gall on the softer material, and then that would go into the hole and destroy the subframe. And we had
the TTRS was notorious because they have little captive nuts. It's it's all aluminum, so they've got these captive steel nuts in there, and the galling it would grab enough of the material of the brass going up in.
It would seize
inside that nut, and then it would start spinning that nut because it's just captivated in this aluminum bracket, which wasn't as strong as the steel cars.
So then the whole threaded insert would come out, and
then it was a nightmare.
this happened to a customer once, and he took it to the dealer, and they wanted to replace the entire frame horn.
The tub. It was like a body in
It
white.
was like a
fixed.
$30,000 repair.
Yeah, no, it was literally like you just take a new tub, like the metal shell of the car, because of this subframe bolt that trashed the insert. So
we brought it back here.
We brought it back here. Did a full thread insert repair, and
but after that, it was like, we gotta come out with an option on the market that doesn't cause this, and because we would install them in our service department, and
well, that's how that
started happening.
Yep.
So, anyways, that's all that.